Hello, Hassan from Master Reviews is here, and well, let's analyze. Never really analyzed anything, but let's give it a shot. I think it's pretty obvious to say that when it comes to quality of a franchise in video games, the Sonic the Hedgehog series pretty much has it rough. And there are good games, but there are plenty of bad games. And of course a lot of mediocre ones. I mean, we all hear the common stuff. People hate, Sonic 06, Sonic Boom, Sonic Free Riders, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic R, Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic 1 GBA remake. Sonic Forces gets a lot of hate. Don't know why. I don't think it's bad. But yeah. But of course, one game that often gets shown up a lot now among the worst of Sonic the Hedgehog is Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I don't have the cover. Okay, I do, but it's not the original cover. It's just an EV Games, drawing. Yeah. Oh boy, Sonic Chronicles. Now let me first off by saying this. I am a huge fan of RPGs. And when an RPG is good, it is fantastic. And the game is often seen as an amazing thing. But when they're bad, you can feel that they're bad. And when they're declared mediocre, or average, they progress to being bad. There's no real in between. And this falls into that. These either had people who thought it was okay at first, but now think it's bad, or people who just hate it altogether. I just think it's bland. Alright, when it comes to this game, there is a lot wrong with this. I mean, sorry. This game has it rough all around. The battle system is strange and extremely convoluted. It can be really easy to mess up. The graphics, while decent, can be seen as ugly by the backgrounds, which are pretty well hand drawn, and of course the sound effects crap, and the music is terrible. But the thing I want to address here is the story, because this probably has the worst Sonic story, one of the worst Sonic stories in a Sonic the Hedgehog game. It's a tough, and I know it sounds pretty, I mean, come on, oh come on, really? Sonic 06 has the worst story by far. Well, yeah, true. But I can't actively. This still is a pretty bad story, because this has a lot of potential. And I'm being honest, this does have some potential in it that could make it a really good story. So I'm going to analyze it. So I'm basically going to sum up the whole entire story, what they did right, and of course what they failed at, and the characters along with that. You know what? And I've got some music here. And I'm not playing what originally came out on the original game. All the tracks are music is horrible, but maybe Blue Ridge Zone, which is tolerable at best. But anyway, this is there's a person online who managed to remaster the whole entire soundtrack from what was originally in the game, and it works. So yeah. You'll hopefully hear in the background, but I'll keep it down a little bit. So let's start off with what we got. So the premise is of the story that Dr. Eggman has been completely defeated for the final time, and in fact has been presumed dead. For basically 6 months, I think, Sonic has gone on a vacation, when out of nowhere he gets a call from Tails informing him that the Chaos Emeralds have been stolen and Knuckles has been kidnapped. Sonic, who's just returned to Green Hill Zone, makes his decides to team up with his old. Goes on one more adventure to save his friend. He meets up with Amy, and Tails, and with some assistance. And they go to Gun to get some assistance on figuring out where Knuckles' whereabouts is. They figure who has been kidnapped by these people known as the Marauders. Gun works out that the Marauders' location seems that they could have Knuckles is in old Eggman bases around Green Hill Zone in Central City. So they send Rouge to go help them. Eventually they work out that Knuckles' true location is in Mystic Ruins. They fly over there, but with the help of Big the Cat are able to get to the true base where Knuckles is being held. They rescue him. Okay, Knuckles escapes by himself, and Sonic ends up being there just as he gets out. But as they get out of the base, they find that Angel Island has mysteriously disappeared. At this point, the ship from the Marauders gets taken away, and now everyone's thinking it's got something to do with Dr. Eggman. So they go on a whirlwind chase to find Dr. Eggman, meeting up with Cream the Rabbit along the way, as well as encountering Shadow the Hedgehog, who is a bit hostile than usual. Eventually, they find Dr. Eggman in one of his old bases, who reveals that he survived his final fight with Sonic and is now a reformed person, and has figured out where Angel Island is now above his old base in Metropolis. And so with his coordinates, he assists the group and the team to taking them down. They head to the Blue Ridge Zone, which is outside Metropolis, where they see Shadow again. Shadow joins them after he informs them he's looking for E123 Omega. They go through the Blue Ridge Zone, helping out people along the way, and eventually face off the Marauders and their general, Shade. And Shade reveals that the Marauders are actually echidnas, meaning Knuckles is not the last one of his own kind, not the last of his kind after all. They're able to block them off after a battle against Shade. Shade blocks the path to Metropolis, but Eggman reveals a secret subway system they built just in case for emergencies. They go through it and enter the underground base in Metropolis, where they split up into two teams. Sonic and Knuckles lead a team to get onto Angel Island by hijacking one of the Marauders, now known as the Nocturnus clan, ships to get onto Angel Island, while Eggman and Tails stay behind in Metropolis with their team to build a device capable of returning the rhythm of the Nocturnus echidnas from their home, while also trying to locate E123 Omega, locate Omega for Shadow. Eventually, Sonic and Knuckles get onto Angel Island and meet the Nocturnus clan's leader, Imperator X. Bad name. And they battle him. Eggman and Tails also arrive and teleport the other echidnas away. And at first it looks like they stop them, but X reveals he's true. But X isn't done yet. He reveals he plans on conquering the universe, which surprises Shade because she thought that he was just trying to return their clan back to Sonic's world. X then tries to kill Shade, who was saved by Knuckles, and steals the Master Emerald, causing Angel Island to fall down into Metropolis. All of a sudden, a black hole appears, and Shade reveals that the Nocturnus echidnas were once part of their world, and were the arch enemies of Knuckles' clan, led by Chief Pakamut, from Sonic Adventure. Because of their devices, of their technology, a mysterious force ripped the Nocturnus clan into a place called the Twilight Cage, where they've been living ever since. But through their own technology, they will find a way back in there to Sonic's world, and they try to, return the whole clan. At least that's what Shade thought, but it turns out X has ulterior motives. It's at this they figure it's now the Sonic and his friends must go into the Twilight Cage to stop X. Shade joins up with them as she wants to help Sonic get revenge on her former general and hopefully get her clan back, return her clan back to normal, you know. Tails and Eggman create a ship that can get them into the Twilight Cage, but Eggman decides to stay, and you can guess where this is coming. They meet once entering the Twilight Cage. They meet up with different sort of alien races who all have a bone to pick with X. After uniting each of the land's generals together, they launch a final attack on the Nocturnus base of operations, facing off against all of the Echidnas as well as their Gizoids, the robots that's Emerald's race of robots, you know, from Sonic Battle. The team splits into two groups again, with Sonic and Tails leading one group and Knuckles and Shade will lead the other, with Knuckles planning to get to X first so he can attempt to reason with him to stop the violence and, you know, bring the Echidnas back so he doesn't have to be the last of his kind. Well, with him and Shade. He and Shade don't have to be the last. They do succeed in getting to X first, and X tries to sway Knuckles to abandon Sonic and join him, but Knuckles refuses and fights X along with Shade and eventually Sonic and Tails. Sonic then turns into Super Sonic, defeats X, who vanishes. The team narrowly escape the Twilight Cage, leaving the rest of the alien races and the rest of Nocturnus, with Shade the only one coming with them. They get back to their dimension, and they find out that Eggman has now taken over it. Apparently, time, as revealed in a cutscene beforehand, revealing that Shade's race is 3,000 years old, Eggman was able to use the difference in time from both dimensions to rebuild his empire and take over the world. He attacks their ship, and that's where the game ends. And Sonic, Tails, and Omega just go through the credits. Yada yada yada. End of the cliffhanger. And we won't see an end of that because, well, EA bought BioWare. Yada yada yada. And of course, the lawsuit. I'm not going to address that. But anyway, so why does this story suck? Well, let's start with this. This has potential. And I mean, the idea of Knuckles finally finding other Echidnas when he thought he was the last one is a good enough concept. And you know, this could be done. Could be done well. And you know what? They hint towards it, but there's no real build-up and there's no real exploring of this new tribe of Echidnas. The others, and you know, while the characterization is great, not all characters in this are written well. Well, they don't get enough screen time. I mean, Sonic is the main character, but you know, being that this is the dialogue tree that BioWare was known for, you know, it's not. His personality is more defined by you compared to the player. I'm just saying, but yeah. So Sonic obviously is the main character. Knuckles, Shade, and Eggman also have important relevance to the plot. Tails is close in relevance, along with Amy and possibly Rouge. Shadow and Big don't get much, and Cream and Omega are optional characters, so they barely have anything. So when you look at it, they have Vector in it as well, but he only appears in one cutscene. Even it's not really a cutscene; it's just an image. But yada yada yada. Yeah, I just want a bit more balance with these characters. And I know I seem to be complaining about the story, and honestly, I wish they could have done a bit more of something like the Mario RPGs. And since since some of the narrative choices seem to mirror a bit of Final Fantasy, go in that direction. Look, I can't get a And I know my story can't be the same as, say, something like Super Paper Mario or Final Fantasy VII, which are two of my favorite video game stories of all time. But it's interesting to say that because when it comes to Sonic, at the very least, he mirrors both Mario in Super Paper Mario and Cloud a lot. Because in Mario's case, well, he doesn't much. Sonic's very similar to Mario and Super Paper Mario because Mario doesn't entirely get a lot of emotions, but he's more the onlooker and chimes in whenever and just goes along to save the world because that's what he does. And Cloud, is he's a bit of a cocky person, and you do have dialogue choices there, but while playing half and half, you don't really get that much. I mean, Sonic is just bland. And for the characters that do work, I mean, I like, as for everyone else, so Sonic doesn't really go through much. He doesn't get a full character arc. I mean, he can be either a kind person or a dick. It's being honest. I mean, you have the choice. Which, props for BioWare fans, getting that. But, it's not entirely perfect. Everyone else, though, well, I'll go through it. I mean, the characters. I mean, Tails is basically Sonic's guide. He always informs when he wants to save the game, but yeah, that's all you get. Amy, who you unlock before Tails, that is. Her major thing is trying to win Sonic, make Sonic jealous by believing that she actually has a boyfriend. And by going in the correct paths, you can make Sonic actually get together with Amy. Loosely. But yeah, that's really about it. But to be fair, I don't mind Amy in this. And in fact, I think Amy is my favorite Sonic character. In the whole franchise, that is. Rouge tags along because Gun assigns her to help Sonic. And they give her a mission when they enter the Twilight Cage to gather some of the Nocturnus technology so Gun can study them. But that's about it. Big, in the chapter after you unlock him, you have to search for Froggy's brother, I think. And that's all you get with him. He's pretty useless outside the areas where you need to use him to use his ability. As I said, Knuckles' main thing with this is he discovers more echidnas, and he does get a lot of development in this between his interactions with Shade and his conflict in knowing that there is others like him and he wishes to have a family again. So he is okay. Cream, you don't get much. I mean, you rescue Cheese, and she just chimes in whenever she wants. I mean, Cream's the only of the optional characters. Cream you can actually reject altogether with dialogue choices, even when she insists she wants to join you after you rescue Cheese. But yeah, not much. Eggman, look, they sort of play this in two camps. They have him playable like you get sometimes with Bowser in the Mario RPG games, but with the way he's presented, the fact you only get him to control him in 2 chapters, one being mandatory, it sort of feels like it's just a cameo appearance like what you get with Sephiroth in FF7 for the Nibelheim flashback. But yeah, it's, I don't know, if you've got Eggman in it, have him in it the whole way. Come on. Shadow, you help him find Omega, but that's it. There is one part where Sonic starts to distrust Shadow because of rumors he hears of a mysterious person stealing stuff, which turns out to be more echidnas who've deserted Ix, and he makes Shadow swore to help him out fully and not be one-sided, but that's about it. Omega, he's there. I mean, he rambles through the credits at the end, but not really. But it's interesting to think that if you don't rescue Omega in Chapter 5, the next chapter, after Angel Island crashes into Metropolis, Omega can actually be, it pretty much states that Omega's been destroyed. So that's pretty weird. And Shade, honestly, I think there's two different camps in this with Shade. People either like her, Sonic fans love her, or hate her. I actually don't mind her as a character, and I wish I could see her again. But I know it can't happen because of the whole lawsuit debacle. I'm not going to address it. But yeah, Shade's got a good character arc, and she's pretty reliable, and she does, even though most of Sonic's friends are apprehensive in having her join them, she does eventually form. She does develop a respect for Sonic and form a bond with Knuckles. So yeah, there is that. But would have liked more. So with that said, what could have I wanted with the story? Well, here's what I would have liked to see. When it comes to the decisions, I don't know. Look, take X's main goal of conquering the world, being from he's an extraterrestrial alien and he's one of his closest allies later deserts and join the heroes. Look, I've seen. Look, I know it wasn't around at that point. Only Iron Man 1 was probably released at that point when Sonic Chronicles was released. But look, can you just tell me I'm not getting Thanos vibes now? Surely, can't you maybe do it? What I would like to see as a scenario is, well, okay, maybe a Thanos decision where X takes away some of rips apart half your team, transporting them to Twilight Cage and you have to go rescue them. Similar to how in FF's Final Fantasy VI you have to find your allies after you get separated them from the world of ruin. Or maybe as an option, when you get to the point where you're entering the Twilight Cage, because as I said, the Eggman twist is really lame. Have a scenario where as you're entering while they were about to go on the ship, all of a sudden you see the other Nocturnus Echidnas appear, and you have to decide to split the party up into two groups. One going to Twilight Cage, one staying behind Sonic's world to, and carry on from there. I would have liked that. Splitting that up and have an extra twist where, look, I know people still don't like the fact in Sonic 06, Sonic dies and then at least revives him, yada yada yada. But add a bit of stakes. Why don't you try and make a scenario where Sonic get some sort of illness, and the only cure is in the Twilight Cage. Yeah, it's just there was potential in this, but it failed pretty badly, and this could have been a really. I'm not lying. This could have been really good. Yeah, but as I said, the story is just one part as to why this game isn't that good. I mean, you've got the story, you've got the music, the sound effects, the gameplay, and the graphics, and even how broken the Chow Garden is. But it's just one way of looking at it. I haven't complained about X being just a boring villain. There's more to it than that, and all the other characters and the fact that you get the lore of Sonic, from basically. I do like with the lore they do address Knuckles has a super form, but if you're going to address that, why not show Knuckles a super form in the game? Come on, fans want to see that in a mainline in one of the newest Sonic games, not just in Sonic Mania. But what can I? Hey, just a thought, But anyway, well, if there's ever another chance at a Sonic RPG, I would want to see them give it a go. I mean, bear another shot. Different studio. Maybe even for the next Mario and Sonic game, you have them do an RPG. You know, that'd be cool. But that's all you can get from that. So, well, that was a pretty big analysis. Geez, I'm quite impressed I had that much to say. So, what's next? Well, I've got a couple of when it comes to video games, I've got a few things in mind, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I think I'm going to go back to movies. My next film, I've already started the next film seeing in theaters is. Probably might see it tomorrow actually. So that'll be my next review. Then afterwards, well, considering that, well, it is the 20th anniversary of this film, I think it's about time we give it a go to review the first movie. That is. Well, but that's it. So thank you very much for watching this analysis. This is Hasmo's Reviews out, and well, I gotta say, I gotta go. You better be time to. I'll catch you later, and that's all I gotta say. Ciao.